and I know we're really building this up, but there's just one bit from WrestleMania, in fact, that was so funny that once again we have to watch the video. It's Bret Hart. Bear with 1 second while I pull up the video. Hang on. So here we go. This is a Triple H. He's just had the big intro because he was the headline for the Hall of Fame, and he ends up shaking everybody's hand. We haven't got sound on this for whatever reason. Just look at Bret Hart's face.
Yep.
Did you see it?
Oh, yeah.
He just goes,
I got to do it.
I'll have one more time.
Is that Undertaker? Who is that? Who's that lady?
Oh, that's Michelle McCool. Yeah, okay. Undertaker's wife, yeah. Where have you... Oh, there you are. Thought you disappeared for a second then. Why does Bret even turn up to these things if he hates Triple H so much?
Because they pay him.
Yeah, all right.
It's why he does it. And regardless of what WWE tries to say about Bret, he is an integral part of WWE back in the 90s. And when did he leave there?
In the 2000? No, late 97.
So that's when Goldberg kicked him.
Nope, that was WCW in 2000. Do you know what's funny is because you were mentioning Warrior, after Bret left or was forced out he was going to leave either way. Vince McMahon, do you know who he started negotiating with? Ultimate Warrior in late 97 to bring him back. Mm-hmm. That's how desperate he was to get another star back on the roster after Bret left. And never came to fruition, of course. But there you go. So, the reason why Bret hates or never got on with Triple H is because obviously he was friends with Shawn Michaels, who he didn't get on with, but there was a specific incident that he talked about where anyone who was associated with Bret in any way would be an enemy of the Kliq, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, etc. And that even spread to Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. They really tried to crack him. Here is the quote from Bret and bust his chops. I remember telling Dwayne all the time, don't listen to these guys. You're a really good talent, and you don't need these guys. When I did the big interview about America, the next week's taping, I wrestled The Rock, and they wanted me to beat him. Triple H specifically wanted him to beat him. He wanted me to beat The Rock and win the Intercontinental title. I refused. What do I need the Intercontinental title for? We did the figure four on the poster. Steve Austin came out and it was a DQ, but I remember Triple H was sick about it because he had a thing for The Rock and wanted to ruin him. He hated him. I remember saying, I like Dwayne. He just got the IC title and he doesn't need me to take it from him. And so that was two things. One, it would bury The Rock, and two, it would keep Bret on the second tier because it was the secondary belt, so Shawn and Triple H didn't have to wrestle him. So, like, even in the olden days, apparently Triple H was always trying to undercut Bret.
Well, that's Bret's presentation of it, and I don't doubt it because when I was there, man, those dressing rooms were highly, highly toxic. You could just feel the heat floating around in the room because you had the Kliq, and then you had what was Triple H's group called?
DX, D-Generation X, or the Kliq, or either way.
You had them.
Then you had the BSKs, and yeah.
Then you had all these different Kliqs, and they were all trying to say The Rock. They could see he was up and coming, so they all wanted The Rock to side with them and be on their side. And Triple H, according to Bret, didn't like The Rock, and he didn't like Bret, so he's trying to play them against each other. It's this typical wrestling, stab you in the back if you can, and apparently it was working up there because nobody was getting along. Nobody.
Another reason that Bret apparently didn't like Triple H is because years later, Triple H claimed responsibility for the Montreal Screwjob, which nobody believes that he was responsible for it, but he said there was a phone call that happened with Shawn, myself, and Vince. This is Triple H speaking. Vince said, look, Bret's not going to do it. He refuses to do it, as in lose or whatever. I don't remember all the specifics, but I was the one that was like, F that. If he won't do it for him. Mm-hmm. Talking about Shawn. It's like he's hardly a shooter. But Triple H is trying to claim responsibility for the Montreal Screwjob when actually most people think it was Jim Cornette, inadvertently.
Possibly.
Do you know
And
this?
the reason I say that is because that's that sounds like Jim.
Yeah, well, he's a historian.
But
He knows about them. He knows how to do them.
so I don't know who gave Bret the idea. I mean, Vince the idea, but and I don't begrudge Vince doing it because that is the normal way that wrestling operates. I'll get guys to put you over, and then you put over the guy at the end on your way out. But he didn't, and I never heard that before. You keep the title, then you just give it up. Well, who's that make look good? It makes Bret Hart look good. But unless it was Vince, and I hate to be taking Vince's side, but Vince gave him the machinery and the time and the wins and the TV for him to ascend to that title of World Heavyweight Champion. Then when it comes time to move it to someone else who's going to be there, he refused to do it. So yeah, you have to. I don't know if that was the best way to do it, but if he won't do business, what are you going to do?
There's a lot more to the story, though. An awful. He was under contract for another 6 weeks, and he even offered to drop the belt to Steve Lombardi, because people forget this. Is they had a battle royal, a number one contenders battle royal, non-televised. It was in Madison Square Garden, where Pat Patterson said, "Wouldn't it be funny?" or whoever he said, "Wouldn't it be funny if a real dark horse won it?" And then that's how the Brooklyn Brawler ended up winning this number one contenders battle royal. Bret said, "I'll lose it to Steve Lombardi. I don't care." It was just Shawn specifically, and Montreal specifically. So it ended up just being a point of contention, and then no one could agree. And there was plenty of ways Bret could lose, and that he offered to lose, and Vince didn't want him to.
But that's after the fact, though. I have never seen or heard of Bret offering to lose anything. Because Bret was very conscious of how he was perceived, but not only the fans, but the other wrestlers too. And a lot of times, I didn't even want to be around Bret or around the Kliq or any of them, because I don't know. See, I got I worked a couple of times in WWE, and both times I wasn't comfortable working there. First time I worked there, I think I don't even remember when I worked there first, 96, I think.
Yeah, 95, 96.
But anyway, I didn't enjoy my time there. And especially when you had all that rivalry going on between the groups, it was hard to be there. It really was.